2 shots of vodka.
Yeah. You want direction, and I've got intentions for you. I've made some mistakes, babe, but just let me make it up to you. I think you've got what it takes to be mine. Don't let them throw you off, babe. We only running out of time. I think you're perfect. I think you're worth it. I think you've got something different. I've been searching. I think you're nervous. He's made you so mad. I think you should take a chance and show me that you can.
Yo, man, what it do, man? It's your boy Will Love, and we are back, man, with another episode of 2 Shots of Vodka. And yeah, we are back, man. We are back. And I am here with my sister once again, Miss Gina Mocha. What's up with you?
Nothing much. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have met you.
How you mental?
Doing good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm straight.
You sure with everything?
Listen,
with everything that's going on right now?
Well, when you go into that, then you know, but.
Then you start getting a little.
Then it get a little cloudy, little stressful, you know.
Let me ask you this: What you been doing to really keep your sanity?
Okay, well, the other day I went down to Kiowa Island for the first time. Mm-hmm. So went there. I'm a water lover. Coming from Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. We used to be 2 blocks from the beach. So anytime I get a chance to be around a large pool of water, I'm good. So I went there, mellowed out, just was in my zone. Like people was looking at me like we was all together. And they was like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yo, this is home for me. Like,
yeah.
As long as I can see some water, I'm good."
You good?
Yeah, so
that's dope.
I needed that.
So you've been doing a lot. So how has it been sitting in the house through this whole quarantine? You know,
this has been a busy quarantine for me. Actually, I ran an election out of my house.
Okay.
Didn't win, but won in other ways.
Yeah. I
was able to uplift and empower Charleston Black Pride, being the founder of that group, because anything that I do, I bring it with me. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I was very busy since Zoom call came. And everybody knew about that. The meetings became on Zoom. I did remote learning because I teach. So it was busy. Like I said, this has been a busy quarantine.
Yeah. And that's a good thing because, you know, and you came out of this with something. You say you've been doing something. You've been working. Yeah. Shit didn't stop.
Listen, I ain't stopped. No, this thing just kept rolling. It was just like setting new dates.
Yeah.
Giving people new links. And that was it. And I still, as the curve, they would say, started to flatten, I started to do some feeding families, groceries and things like that. So I've been doing some grassroots stuff, you know, boots on the ground. So, and realizing the need, because regardless of what, no child should go sleep hungry.
Yeah.
So, was doing that and linking up with some organizations and some great people who backed me to make sure that I can get that kind of like my wish list out.
And that's what I can always say about you, man. Every time I see you are. If anybody ever want to get down dirty, get your hands dirty, touch the people, they need to fucking talk to you.
Yeah.
Like you really, like, as you be out there in the trenches, like for real. And I always respect that.
Thank you.
About you, like
Thank you.
You really out there and you doing it. Before we get started though, we go ahead and take this shot though. Did you drink it?
Yeah, no, I didn't drink it. Nah,
all right, man. Let's toast real quick, man.
Yes.
Let's do this because we are back. You dig? Ooh,
right?
Been a little minute with that.
You wake us all the way up.
I need some education. All right.
Okay.
Need some education.
Okay.
I'm gonna be first. I'm gonna tell. I didn't vote, which
see.
I didn't.
See?
Vote. I didn't vote. Wait.
Do you live in my district? Because if you didn't vote and you live in my district,
I don't know. What
111.
That's what district is that?
This is between all of downtown here.
Okay.
And cutting over to West Ashley, Maryville, that kind of area, and coming back around to North Charleston area, Dorchester, going up
right,
Azalea.
Right around North Woods Mall.
Oh, no. You wasn't in my district. Because, see, I was about to tear you up. I was about to tear you up because I was getting ready to say, commercial break.
Hey.
Let me give him the fever or why I missed the vote.
Nah, I don't. And the reason why I can't participate in any voting is because I don't have a valid South Carolina driver's license. My driver's license is to North Carolina. So, you gotta.
There's ways around that. But
See,
I hear you.
I need fucking education.
Listen, let me tell you something. All you do is show up.
Okay.
Anytime that you want to vote, or you can go to this website. So it's like you just Google, find out, get some contact numbers. I mean, November, we need everybody that's eligible to vote to be out here. I mean, I don't care. Like, you got a post and you ain't got no convictions tied to you, you need to be voting. You over 18, you need to be voting. I don't care, black, white, what nationality, what your Christian, religious, whatever, noble, you need to be voting.
Facts.
November the 3rd, because it's that serious. Like, it's almost life and death. It's whether you breathe the day after this election if you don't vote. Like, it's that serious, you know? And I tell people too, because they take it lightly with the primaries and things, smaller elections, but those affect if you got a grocery store on your block. Those affect if that flooding that you got issues with. So if you're not voting for House representatives, your local, your mayors, city council, county council, school boards, especially if you have kids in school, then you're missing that local and state level that deals with you individually. And I tell people a lot of times, they're like, oh, I don't vote in them small elections, and I don't vote this and that for the primaries. I said, let me tell you something. That's your taxes. That's, where you eat at. That's where you lay your head at. That's where you walk these streets at. You talking about you need a street light and you wondering why there ain't no funds, or who can you talk to? Who did you vote in to make sure that your safety is good? That's local level.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you don't go to the president for that. You see what I'm saying? Now the president funnels down money to all the smaller agencies, yes, but you know good and well it don't work from the top down. It's sometimes from the bottom up. And that bottom frontline people are the local level legislations and mayors and police departments. Is all wrapped in to that smaller voting every 2 years,
So educate me real quick. So you was running for, is it
South Carolina House seat?
Okay.
Yeah, so the House representative.
Okay, so what is that?
Okay, the House deals with laws.
Okay.
Getting laws changed and writing laws.
Okay.
So, I'm a policy person. And if the policy is crooked, then guess what? There's a reason why everybody keep falling into that systematic issues, So that's one of the things that I wanted to come in and do some changes. But see, my thing is, when you have a powerful voice, you can make changes even without that title. But you just got to know who you need to make that your voice known to. You understand? So where you can work your representatives that represent you up at the State House. You can go to City Council and put a referendum out. You can go to your mayor and let them know this is your concerns. You can go to the police department and let them know that this is what you would like to see implemented in your community. So it's up to you to be that voice. But see, where I know that I have a powerful voice and I've recognized and accepted that. So now I know that I can be the voice, which I coined the voice of the voiceless, because there are many people, like you said, you didn't know that you could. Those are I call voiceless people because you're lacking some information and knowledge. Not saying you're not competent. Not saying that you can't get it, but you don't know. So if you take a person that does know, that can go up there and represent things that you might not even be thinking about, then that's powerful because they're making changes that may directly or indirectly affect you. So that's when you become to say, do I want to take on leadership roles? You can be an occupant of a leadership role, but are you a leader in a leadership role? Two different things.
Makes sense.
So we got an occupant in the house. And 45 is an occupant of the White House. You know what I'm saying? He's a resident. You know what I'm saying?
At least about to be
like dangling on that residency. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference from being a leader, because a leader has to understand that there is no sides. It's nonpartisan. You see what I'm saying? So that means that you for all, regardless if you don't want to. Your personal beliefs does not come into leadership. It comes into what's the best interest of whom you're representing. So if I was representing District 111, every person is a stakeholder. And when I mean stakeholders, I'm talking down to the drug dealer is a stakeholder in your community. And they make a difference of how your community thrives or don't. So you need to be in contact or in like representation or able to draw a linkage with all of those individuals, down to the youth, to the elderly, to the veterans, to the homeless, to, like I say, drug dealers that's out there on these corners. They are, even your police officers, everyone is a part of your district.
Well, and we definitely going to dive into that. And you definitely seemed like you had a lot of plans. If you were the one, which was fucking unfortunate. But what I want to know was, by you being a black woman, part of the LGBTQ community, what difficulties did you face getting into politics?
Well, let me tell you. First of all, I run unafraid. Okay, so that's a whole different mindset. When you know that you know what you know, you can do anything. So, but knowing that I'm a black woman, knowing that I'm a black lesbian woman, all of those, as people would consider, is 3 strikes against me automatically, and but I don't take it as that. And so I know the opposition was, okay, I ran against a 12-year incumbent and he's well known in the community. And I said, okay, that still doesn't mean that I have a different perspective and a female voice should be silenced.
Right.
So those, and I've had people say, what he's done in the past, and like a lot of our issues ran parallel to each other. But the difference is I'm coming with a female and LGBTQ issues alongside who I represent in the community. So those could have been some of the oppositions that I might have faced. But to be honest with you, I had a lot of supporters. And when I saw that I won 1,008 votes, first of all, it was low voting. It usually be like 10, 12,000 people that votes during the primary.
And when you posted it, I looked at it. I was just like, even for voting on that level, I'm like, that's low.
It was low. It was only 4,500 people that voted. And then he got 3,000 and something. I got 1,000 and something. But my thing is, 1,000 and something people spoke about they want change. So regardless of who wins, they got to recognize those 1,000 people that was in favor of me coming into that new position. So they can't be ever left off the coin of being recognized, because that was a part of your district. And then there was a large amount, because I think we got like 37,000 or something people in our district, and you're going to tell me that only 4,500 people came out to vote, and you would usually get 12,000. So if we go out to 12,000, it's still less than half came out to vote. And so you don't know what the reasons was that they didn't vote. Could have been COVID-19. It could have just been that they just didn't know what to do with either one, or they could have had situations that you spoke about, or it could have been a plethora of things. So, with me, and I say for myself, there was a lot of obstacles as far as COVID-19, social distancing, of course, financial, but I didn't let that be a burden, So if I didn't have signs out, then fine. But like I said, I was able to obtain what I obtained, unbought and unbossed. And that's the way I run elections. I didn't have a campaign manager. I didn't have all these fancy this and that. I had a 19-year-old who did my flyers, because I believe in that grassroots and grooming up the future.
Shit, you didn't even have a cheesy slogan.
No. Listen, I didn't. Voice of the voiceless. Just something that I carry with anything. I didn't. Listen, let me tell you, I'm that real. That's what I want people to know. And I was, but like I said, I know and then also I didn't start running until January. I didn't put myself out there until January. So that's 6 months. Like I said, I'm thankful and I'm grateful, and it just opened my doors to my next adventures, you know. What do I want to do?
What's the biggest thing you learned like throughout this process? So from January till now, what's the biggest thing you probably took away?
I'm a people person, and I've like walk with that and conviction.
Well, shit, you should already know.
No, but I mean, like, listen, I know, but I'm just saying, like, and I'm talking about when I say people person, that means that I can re-transform myself. I'm not just in the hood, or I'm not just in with people who are of clout that people would put on a higher pedestal. Or I can be able to transform myself in all different realms. I mean, working with seniors, you speak to them differently. You know, working with someone that may be, you know, more better off, as you would say, and not saying that I change up who I am as a person, but I noticed that that people person, I'm able to speak to any realm and not feel threatened or feeling lack thereof due to the circumstances of knowing their statuses. It doesn't matter if you white, black, green, orange, what, I will speak to you. And just those connections. I spoke to a lot of single moms, you know, and there's single dads out there as well, but, you know, single moms that really was in the struggle right now. So building more relationships is what I did in those 6 months. Even during COVID-19 and social distancing, because people were calling me, and I've had them one-to-one personal relationships that you can never take away.
Yeah.
You can never forget that. Yeah. And just looking into someone's eyes, because when I speak to them, I'm looking at them, it's the windows to their soul. So I'm sitting here like, wow, this person is being that transparent with me. That speaks volumes.
It does.
And I don't care about no title. That spoke to my heart to let me know, like, Regina, people want you out here. And whatever capacity it is that I say that God has for me, I'm waiting for it. But, like, my voice is that important to someone. And that in those 6 months really had me key into how I use it and what into what advantage and how am I helping more people.
And that's very important for the message and for you to, you know, translate to different people, all colors, shapes, sizes, whatever, and just resonate with people. But I'm always a guy, like, I believe nothing, all right?
Right.
I don't trust shit.
Right.
And I just want to know from your standpoint, is everything they tell us bullshit?
Not everything. Not all things, but many things and most things and some things. See, that's that good vocabulary and dictionary word. Being a reading interventionist, you know what I'm saying? But but there's a lot of things that is coming to light that they said that couldn't happen. Like COVID-19 has shown that we can work from home. Those moms that's been like begging their companies and organizations like, I need to be home because I need to be home with my child. It happened in a matter of seconds. When it's backed up against the wall, I've seen that things can change.
Yeah.
You know, where we thought that it could never be, I noticed that $1,200 could mysteriously wind up in people's hands to everyone.
But when Andrew Yang was talking about it, everybody was looking at him crazy like a motherfucker.
That's why, because you know why? It's the fear of the unknown. And we have a problem with that, and that's our downfall. Because we don't see it happening, and we've never heard that it happened, that we tend to believe and ordain that it won't happen. It can happen. You understand? Yeah. So that's the kind of ways that I foresee things. And it was just so many other things, you know, that just was popping up. I mean, even with school. We didn't know where we was going. We knew them kids couldn't be in that school building, the teachers. Yeah. Next thing we know that there was, now we did lose 30,000 students in the state of South Carolina.
What you mean you lost them?
Education-wise, they don't know. They lost contact from the day that their last day was March 13. They lost 30,000 students.
Damn it.
And that's 30,000 students just uneducated for that amount of time because it could be telephone number, X, Y, and Z. Like luckily in Charleston County, and we had SROs in some schools that went out and knocked on doors. I've even knocked on some of my students' doors. Like, hello, I ain't seen you turn in the work. What's going on?
My son teacher had her number. was
Yeah,
like,
listen.
we doing virtual training.
I told him either you could. I understand that your internet was having a problem, but you got phone, right? You just call me, we just answer. Text me your work. That's real with my students.
Yeah.
You know, I had 24 on my caseload, and out of 24, 2 of them did get away. 2 meaning that parent. But now we got to also remember mental health comes into that too.
Okay.
So that was another thing that I noticed that with those 2, or we got to remember a lot of our grandparents are raising these students, so they're already having challenges, and then to have that on top of it, I kind of understood. But that same family, guess what? I went to the house and brought groceries. And I told the son, the grandson, whenever you can turn in something, please do it because it's for the best of your interest. But, I didn't put him down.
Yeah.
And make him feel even worse because who knows what other challenges is actually going on. It was like 5 or 6 kids in the house,
Yeah.
So these are the things that we have to be mindful of when we're going into remote learning. I also have fears because unnoted child abuse hasn't been spoken of. People with disabilities. I have a son that's in a residential facility. It drove me crazy that I couldn't go see him once a week because they told me, it was high risk. But let me tell you, you can bring him to that garage and let him stand in there and let me wave and take a good glance from my car at him. I'm going to see him.
Yeah.
There's a will, there's a way, but I'm glad, to get the call when I was able. So I went there and brought him some clothes and things and loved up on him and look him over. But that's one of the hard things, Senior buildings were closed. I was thankful that I'm the caregiver of my mom. But when I heard about some of the things that was going on or a lot of them were getting sick with the COVID-19 or whom was bringing it in to the facilities, this stuff became a problem. It became a concern, and that's the things. But I noticed that things can change and be changed. It's just what pressure we're willing to push up against it.
Tell them all the time it's about that pressure, man.
It is because people ain't gonna allow certain images to be destroyed and tarnished in their cities, or in certain industries. So you apply that pressure, it changes the outlook.
So for the upcoming school year? What do you see as the plan?
It's still stagnant. They're looking at staggering school hours. It's still undecided. They're looking at staggering. There's teams, great teams, principals, stakeholders, teachers, school board members, superintendent that's still working on the front to see what they can decide. Because the thing is, let's go to the beginning. Nobody knows how COVID-19 is actually spreading, or who has and who doesn't.
Yeah, I just read something that said CDC said you can get it from touching the surface. I'm like, what? Didn't y'all just say we can get it?
Listen, let me tell you. You know what it reminds me of? Because I'm from the '80s and I know about how HIV/AIDS came about, and it went from you could almost look at the person you thought you was gonna get HIV/AIDS. You understand? Until it changed to you. You couldn't sit on the toilet after somebody. You couldn't eat this saliva you could get if you ate after their burger or something like that. Listen, when I had a family member, I loved that family member up until the day that person died. And I've shared meals with that person, ate behind them with the same fork, hugged on them. I've even treated them if they had a wound, and I just used gloves and I covered them and did not contract HIV/AIDS. So it broke down that stigma or that wall of concerns. So I kind of put COVID-19 in that realm. But since I do be around my 76-year-old mom, I'm more conscious about things and making sure that wherever I'm at, if I'm in an enclosed vicinity, that there's air flowing, X, Y, and Z. Like I have my mask. I wait until I'm okay. But yeah, I don't. Like I said, I'm cautious about those kinds of things.
Yeah. Speaking on plans, this is the fuck all that shit me. Why does it seem like we never get a black plan? Why we always get a promise?
Because you know why? We have to come to the table with the plan. Nobody should be able to give our culture what the guidelines and things are. So that's what we should be doing, making a comprehensive plan and taking action about what we want. Because we've been spoon-fed for the longest what people are going to do to us and for us.
Well, I want you to expound on that, because you say we should have but we don't have a lot of us in those positions, you know? So how can we change that?
You need to get to the table. There's always meetings. And find out when they're being conducted, and what showing up speaks a lot. So like, as I was telling you about getting to those seats, meaning being at the mayor meetings, being city council, being at county council, depending on what it is you want to change. Finding those movers and shakers and getting yourself there, speaking about what issues it is that you want to see changed. Or you start building your own table. Getting like-minded individuals, coming up with your plans and things in action, and taking it to the leaders that you know that's holding the seats, whether they look like us or not. And you start demanding what it is that you want.
Why is it so tough for us to come together as a collective?
That's a hard question, but my thing is, when it goes back to the crab in the barrel mentality, that plays a key. Sometimes, we wasn't really taught how to work together as a unit. We was watching our units get torn down. You take the black male out of the family, you take this out, you tell us that we can't do this. I mean, it's toxic, it's traumatized, So my thing is, you got to shift through all of those, and what you've seen so long and you've been oppressed. It's hard for you to really stand up sometimes when you got that foot in your neck, as Reverend Al said. It's hard to lift that foot up. But we know that we are a strong people and that we can supersede anything. But once we learn that we've really got that foot, that optimistic, and knowing that we don't have that glass ceiling over our head holding us, once we stand up, we have to stand up.
Yeah.
And actually take charge. And we're doing that now. And I'm seeing it all around the world that is happening. But I'm seeing a lot of protests. I'm seeing a lot of marches. It's time that we start solidifying our plan and saying, this is what's going to happen, setting our call to action and getting it done. Yeah. So that's what we need to be moving now furthermore. The protests, the marches got you. Now what? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we don't go with the wave dies down, and then the wave turns. And we may get a few things off of our list of demands, but we may not get that much further because we can miss these valuable moments where we got the masses looking at us and willing to step in. Our allies are stepping up and speaking, because I'm going to be honest with you, in order for things to change, our allies got to go back to their families and tell them that they have to get right.
We can't do it.
No, we can't do it, but because we didn't start it. This wasn't our, like I tell people, I don't have nothing to explain about the LGBTQ community. Because this is who I am. If you want to know what something like that, you need to go out and find your own research and know how to come at me. I'm not coming to give you no blueprints or nothing. Especially when, guess what? Open up a book. You can Google. You can do this. You can do that. And that's how I feel about my blackness. I do not have to tell you nothing. Okay? Because there's so much things at the palm of your hand that you can get this vital information by yourself. And my thing is, you know what racism is. You created it. Your family member, someone down the line created it. Now, how do you undo racism? And it doesn't, like I tell people all the time, it doesn't have to be financial. Stand by us. My slogan was stand with us, not against us. If you saw me out there protest, stand with us, not against us. And that means in everything. If you know that the jargon that is written in the laws, then it needs to be changed. That's what's holding us down from social justice issues to police racial biases. All of that is written in it. And if you look into the Constitution and has, even the rights that freed us still has that slavery is abolished, except for basically when a black man or woman is in prison. That no longer is a valuable constitution. There's no more rights for that. That's wrong. So our prison system is corrupt. And that needs to be changed. But my thing is, if you got laws from the 1950 something and we in 2020, that's why we can't get a leg up.
Yeah.
That's why we got a foot holding on our neck. And you know how we always used to say, don't blame this man, don't blame the man. Listen, no, we don't need to blame them. We know what we need to start doing is reading and writing, reading and rewriting. So that it can be removed. People are saying that, they taking it too far. They want statues down and they want plantation taken down and it's going to change this and that. Nobody said change was going to be easy.
Yeah.
Nobody said you was going to be in agreement.
Ain't going to be comfortable.
You ain't going to be comfortable during that, but it's going to be removed. And it's that minute to you, but it's major to me because of the simple fact I know my family was on them plantations and they worked where they shouldn't have. And if my family was in the house, let me tell you why they might have been in the house, because you done already did something to cover up. That's why my family member of a darker hue was in the house.
Yeah.
Because you understand what I'm saying? So the underlying is the reason why they might not have been out on the forefront in their garden. But guess what? Those are all our brothers and sisters.
Yep.
One whooping, we all got beat.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my barber because he told me something the other day, right? He said the black community can do something too to help aid this. And I was like, what? He was like, we have to stop identifying or acknowledging the black power, black man, black woman. And I was like, expound on it a little bit. And he was saying basically, this is what they use to categorize us. This is what they use to, if you see any crime, anything on TV, they say black male suspect. You talking to somebody say, oh yeah, well, this black man, why can't I just be a man? Because you don't want to put me on the same level playing field as you. And he was kind of, going in on the people who were talking about, the thing everybody say, we've been going through this for 400 years. And he was like, you haven't been through anything for 400. He don't know anybody who's 400 years old. He was like, your ancestors have made peace with this. You haven't been through anything, compared to that. And he was, I guess, for the most part, he was saying like, and I just want to know your take on it. Like, kind of stop pushing that agenda. Like, we have to start pushing the rhetoric that, hey, I am a man. Don't label me as a black man. I am a man. Right. You are a man. You're a woman. They don't have to put these labels to categorize us and things like that because they put the black for the threat. Right. Because when I was a baby, I just was a baby. But now I'm a man. I'm a black man now. Right. They don't say that for the white man. Oh, that's a white baby. Oh, this is a white man. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts and see like what you thought about that as far as like the black community, holding the end up with that.
I can understand where he's coming from, but those words are meant to hold weight. I'm proud to be a black strong woman, and I'm proud to come from a family of black strong women, and I never want to silence that. Because when we close off our ancestry, that is another form of indoctrine slavery, because they kind of want us to forget our past so we can't go back to correct it or find out. That's why we don't know. Actually, it goes back to African Americans. We really don't have a nationality, and this is why reparations is hard to receive. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It when it goes into the definition and you study and you're like, wait a minute, where do we come from? Yeah. Who do we belong to? Who are we actually? And I mean, I found out that I'm part Cherokee Indian Blackfoot. And I know there's probably more. So, when I come down to it, yes, I, had to come back home to find out more about my Gullah Geechee roots. And I know that my mom carried them all the way when we went up to New York. But if we don't know who we are, how can we request what we want?
Yeah.
And I know it looks like that minute, but that's also how it had, like people tell me all the time, I'm a human, you're a human being. Yeah, I'm a human being, but I encompass all of this. And I want to highlight that. Like my niece, she's, mixed, diverse, I tell her to stand on your family that you all encompass. The white family, because we have those that came in through rape. But I loved my uncle to death. And he said he knows his white family. And he said he's a black man. And he's passed on, but he was like in his 80s still saying that. So when I listen to my elders speak, I can only be but proud, because they taught us not to like our black skin. Not to be proud of our black education and excellence. So I can't fully agree that we should, because I remember the sign when you said that. I remember Martin Luther King having the men or carrying the sign, "I am a man." And I was like, okay, I feel that, I understand. But being a black person, an individual, should be acknowledged and celebrated. Because we don't know that much of where we come from. That's what people don't know. Sometimes you ask them, who do you identify yourself as today? Oh yeah, I may be African American, I may be black, I may be colored. You never know who you're speaking to in what realm. Some people, you with your homeboys, you do call yourself the N-word. You understand? Because of the simple fact, we really don't know who we really are. But we can look at our skin, our melanated in our skin, to take and say, I'm black.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it. Because first of all, they say you are who your mom is. And that's always been a question of taboo too.
Yeah.
Because you may be darker skinned than your mom. Your mom is a Caucasian woman. But I tell you, people will know if you are mixed with anything, and it automatically will say you are black. So that's not a choice. That's just society. That goes all the way back to the beginning of time. So, but my thing is, I walk in our black excellence, because we was supposed to be illiterate. You understand? We wasn't even supposed to get as far as we were. And we learned to mask what we didn't know with hair braids. We masked our messages through songs and hymns. But we was illiterate. You understand? So that's why I said that we can't close that.
Yeah.
And I would never want to shun that. I'm proud. I'm very proud of my blackness.
So we shouldn't dismiss that at all.
Don't dismiss it.
I got you. What you think about Joe Biden's "You Ain't Black" comment? What went through your mind? I know you flipped the shit when you heard that shit.
Listen. I know at that moment that I knew an apology was coming. Let me put it that way in a nice way.
Always.
I knew an apology was coming.
That PR department was sweating, boy.
I knew an apology was coming. And I also know that when he said it, it really was taken out. It was able to be said to be taken out of content too. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't pass me as not an educated person.
Okay.
And I just think that when someone tries to be comfortable, they tend to say things to fit in. But he has to remember, you don't wear the badge that we wear to fit in the scene.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was being, people say he was being cocky, like he got the black vote suited in because he had, quote unquote, or his ticket person is Barack Obama.
I think the nigga just got too comfortable.
That's what I said, he got comfortable. He was chilling with Charlemagne, probably had a little swig, 2 shots of vodka, and jumped out the window. Yeah. Totally. But I don't take it away from him as what his mission really is. I think he really does genuinely want to help make a lot of changes and for the betterment of the communities, of color. Yeah. But that just was a little too far-fetched. That we tell people you don't get a pass because your best friend is black. You still gotta cover your tracks and your weight.
But let me ask you this: could you fully put your trust in him with him having a part in the the crack laws and the 94 crime bill and things like that? Can you put your trust in him, basically for him to do right?
When you have the least of the two choices, that's there we are now. We got to remember now, we ain't got like it was when we had 20 something people running on the ticket. Yeah. When we down to 45 the occupant to Joe Biden right now, or don't vote, we not going to not vote. So we will be going with Joe Biden. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because, I have a plethora of reasons of why I cannot vote for Trump at all. No, but I'm just saying, but there's people there's 300 plus people that's getting ready to go to Tulsa that obviously is ready to vote for him back in. So remember, there are people.
That's a group,
listen, come on, that is, and they don't care about COVID-19, whatever, whoever, they going. My thing is, we got to remember and acknowledge that the masses that still are in favor for him. And that, I'm telling you, that will make hell on us. So we got to acknowledge that. But my thing is, we have to be out there to stand against this, because even just yesterday with it's Pride Month, okay? June is Pride Month for the LGBTQ community. Yesterday being the anniversary of the 49 people killed in the shooting at Pulse Club down in Florida. We going through with COVID-19, just a plethora of things against the LGBTQ community, and he takes a law and changes it as far as not supporting trans in their health. Yeah, basically reversing it. Yeah. So my thing is, what you're strategically doing, and my thing is, he does it in favor of his circle. His circles has evangelicals. Yeah. So evangelical. So my thing is, you got this in your circle. He's always catering to whom he feel he has to impress. Yeah, he loyal to his family. He's very loyal.
He was trying to sell records. He's
very loyal. So my thing is, he doesn't care who he actually hurts and offend while he's making these changes. A leader doesn't do that. A leader has to support and uplift all that's incumbents under your leadership, whether your personal feelings may be different.
Well, what was the reason that, because now everybody has something to say now about Obama, and then people are saying now, which I do agree with, we didn't hold him up to the same standards, besides just being black. That's all he was required to be. So, basically everybody's in an uproar now, because it's kind of like, everybody black putting this pressure on Trump. He's not doing this, he's not doing that. But when Obama was in office, it was
the first 4 years. We was in glory. This. Come on, let's be for real. First 4 years, we was like, we got somebody black in the White House. Like
that Young Jesus song was playing.
We done changed it, right. We done changed it to the Black House. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of did fall off. As far as the expectations, just like we still doing with a lot of our black leaders that we don't hold accountable to. So then the next 4 years, we started looking at some of the changes that wasn't being changed, or some of the things that just was not happening. And then while we were in the process of waking up, it was now in a new election year. You know, and that's what we have to make sure that we don't get complacent when we do get anyone in any office, whether it's local, state, you know, or national. We need to make sure that we are holding people to what they say that they are going to do, no matter their color. And we can't go back to what we didn't do when Obama was in office. But we have to also be mindful of learning so that we don't have these same mistakes. And I mean, but see, the thing about too with Trump, he makes these straight out forward. He's consistent. He's a narcissistic person. So he's consistent about what he's doing and how he's taking his claim. So therefore it makes it, it's no way in the world that we ain't going to hold him to, or we're not going to come at him on things that he does and says, you know, because he's that right up in your face. Obama was genuine in the way that he did things or didn't do things. So we kind of, you know, we kind of move when we actually see more things that's like right up in our face and we hear it and we're like, what? Yeah. Did he just say that? And I mean, I've gotten to the point to just say, well, I'm not surprised. I say that I'm not surprised, but it doesn't make it right. Yeah. You know, I'm pretty much disgusted and over, but it doesn't surprise me. But he's been on attack with the LGBTQ community since he came in. I just wish somebody that's from the LGBTQ community go and love up on him, because that's what it seems like he's lacking. Because he's so fearful of an LGBTQ community. What's the real underlying issue? You know, because he's been riding that wave just as hard as Obamacare. Anything that had Obama name attached to it. But for what? Yeah. You know, he even went down to mental health. You understand? I mean, like, he just doesn't care. And a lot of people say, well, you know, and here goes the passive turn. Well, you know how he is. That's what, that don't give you a pass. A murderer is a murderer, right? He's sitting up in jail, right? Yeah. They caught him, they're going to arrest him, you know? And then we can go into that, because you know how we feeling about this policing, you know? And this whole situation is just...
Is defunding the police the answer?
No, that's not the answer. That's part of it, but that's not the answer. See, this is my thing. You know, we try to gravitate to what we can really see, but the root is the problem, and the root is the laws, the policies. See, that's the thing, that we think too small as black people. We still got that bandage mentality. That's a band-aid, just a rip off of one band-aid. What is the root of the problem? What is the systemic problem that is in the culture of policing? That's what we need to address. And it goes to the laws, because that's how cops move. Yeah. The law says this, and they will say that. Why you think they quote that to you when they arrest you? They're law-abiding citizens. This is why people got to understand why was the police department first established? Why was prisons first established? When you go to that root, that's where you pull out that seed, and you pull it up from the root and you get rid of it, and then you repack it with new seeding and new growth, and just like you just starting that whole garden fresh, you're starting that tree again. Right. The root was corrupted. The seed that it was, and the soil that it was all planted in, was corrupted. So therefore, taking little intricate parts out. Shoot, I could say, I looked on the New York City Shield, and there's a man, like a master, holding a whip in that shield of armor. Now I could fight and say, get that man off with the whip. No, get the whole system up out of here. You understand understand? So we get fixated, like people say, we get fixated on little symbols and little this and little protests and marches. But what are we doing to get rid of the roots of the problem? Because the root builds the foundation. When you have a problem, infestation in your house, you go to the root of the problem and you pull the weed or whatever it is, even in the garden, you pull it up, you pull it out, you dismantle it. So it can never be a problem again within your garden, within your home, or whatever. That's what we need to do in all of these systems that are corrupted.
Yeah. The rioting, the looting along with the protests, is it necessary for change?
Hey, burn it down, tear it down. What? Now what?
That's what
No, but you said tear it down, burn it down. Now what? Because I'm gonna tell you right now. Guess what? They're gonna build it back. Right?
Yeah.
Now, those that have, this is where I come into, because luckily I go to this grocery store for my mom and get her things, but we have a lot of elderly, and I'm impressed about the amount of elderly around here in South Carolina that is of color, that are driving, that goes to these places alone. They're 70 plus, 80 plus still driving. Now we've given them extra mileage to drive, because we just burned down the grocery store in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is the sense that I'm saying here. That's where you get your grandmother medicine from.
Yeah.
At CVS, and you burn down the CVS, the Family Dollar. First of all, this is where I could just look at Charleston. We're already in a food desert. We're already in deplorable situations. I understand you mad and angry. You think I'm not? But by burning it down, I can understand you. Okay, you knocked out a few glasses and you defaced the property. But burning it down, I have a problem. Because you know how long it takes to reconstruct and put stuff back up? Mm-hmm. Then what? Especially during COVID-19, we already going to food pantry. Food pantries is dry, draining dry. Now what? Yeah. And then, but wait a minute, you tearing up our neighborhood, your own neighborhood.
Yeah, that's it. Don't
see. So
don't shit with your lady.
So now, guess what? We already uncomfortable. So now where we gonna go? To the neighborhood we don't feel comfortable in, because we got to get the products, because we going to need it. Everybody running around laughing, why you stacking up on tissue until you ain't got no tissue?
Yeah, and I totally see, and my mindset is
I'm not caring
online with yours. I don't care about the big corporations, but those black businesses.
Then that's another thing. Why are we tearing up our own black owned businesses? Yes. Like, see, this is the stuff that I'm sitting here like, listen, people got insurance. It's COVID. It was rioting. They got all these insurance and stuff. They're going to get their stuff fixed back up. So I'm not even crying and going crazy about that. Mine is the issues in our own neighborhoods. Yeah. In our own backyards. I have a problem with black-owned businesses was being vandalized and taken advantage of, and knowing that, small businesses is already having a hard time waiting for money to come in. It just made it even worse for them that's trying to make ends meet. I hate to see people suffer in general. No. Of course the rich going to get rich. I'm tired of seeing those from the middle class going down or coming down from the lower to lower class now, because we have a hindrance for them. Yeah. I have a problem with that. That's not protest. That's not justice. That's what I could say. That's not justice. Yeah. Now, when they say no justice, no peace, that means, see, people don't understand the no peace part. That means no peace, meaning you're going to change those laws. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to keep seeing me in your spaces. That ain't peaceful no more, because who wants to come to every meeting and see me standing there going, excuse me, I'm waiting for that law to be changed. Right. That's pressure. Yeah, that's because pressure. Now you sweating like, dang, we going to have to do something because She ain't going away, and she bringing 100 more people with. That's applying pressure. That's the no peace.
Not the burning that shit down.
Right. See, that's what people got to understand. Apply your knowledge to where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And the further along we will get as a people.
Yeah.
And that's the part that we, and my thing is this, don't sensationalize things. And don't be reactive. Be proactive. Be solution based. Because we want positive outcomes at the end of whatever we do. And if we're not, then we're wasting time. And time waits for no man or woman. Change.
What is the overall landscape? What do you see once all this is done? And I'm gonna preface by saying I think we'll be long and gone before. But do you think it's gonna happen? And what do you think that day looks like?
Change is happening all around us. As if we look really and see a lot of things is that we haven't talked about and spoken about what happened from the 60s to 2020, and a lot has happened. We harp on the civil rights movement, we harp on slavery, we harp on a lot of things, but we've really overcome. I have a doctorate that I know that my family members back then didn't attain. Mm-hmm. So we've come further. We have a lot more to do. We have indoor plumbing. I mean, these are certain things that we may not look at, but we have changed. We don't have colored signs hanging up. We may feel a certain way when we go in some businesses, but those signs mean a little bit more too when you see it. Mm-hmm. Or you got to go around the back door because you are a certain color, you know? So we've progressed. We are progressing. Mm-hmm. But I see that the youth, with guidance from our elders and us, is going to make it happen. Because the youth has that fire and that energy and that tenacity, and we got the knowledge and the wisdom that we've gifted from our ancestors. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful combination. Yeah. We just have to change the mindsets to really see it soar. So I see that. I mean, just talking with some young individuals and seeing them on the front line for a lot of the protests and the messages, listening to their messages is powerful. And they are able to say, "Hello, Queen," to any and every female that a lot of older men can't do. Yeah. So that's change. Mm. That recognizing that we are from kings and queens, from these young people when they address you, that's powerful. So I'm a hopeful kind of person. Yeah. So I already believe and foresee betterment for us. But we just have to make sure we jump on this bandwagon now and make sure that we have a comprehensive plan for every single thing that we felt was unjustly done to us.
Mm-hmm. And I'm with you, and I'm with you on that on that aspect, because you say you're a hopeful person for change, and I'm a person that believes in with persistence, mm-hmm. you will get change. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you change your mindset, you can change your circumstances.
And that's correct.
Yeah. I know you got to get ready to go, but before I get you out of here, you know we got to play our game. You know how we do. Yes. You know how we do. So yes, we are back, and we are going to play 5 Fingers of Death. All right, everybody remember 5 Fingers of Death. Miss Gina has 5 seconds to say the first thing that comes to her mind with the keyword I will give her. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. 1, Trump.
Gone.
2, Black.
Powerful.
George Floyd.
Sad.
Love.
Real.
Last one, revolution.
Is now.
Yes.
is now. The revolution is now. And it will be televised.
All right, last game we playing 7 is lucky. 7 is lucky. I'm gonna give you 2 options. You gotta pick one of the 2 of the maybe lesser evils. All right? 1, Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders.
Okay. Popeyes or Churches?
Popeyes.
Good choice. Will Love the rapper or 2 shots of vodka?
2 shots of vodka.
Okay. Shrimp or oysters?
Oysters.
Said that quick, sure.
Yeah, I'm allergic to shrimp. Yes.
This is a funny one. Lights on or lights off?
Turn the lights off. Turn them off. Teddy B, turn them off.
Jambalaya or red rice?
Red rice. Come through.
What you want, money or legacy?
Legacy.
That's what I'm talking
Because the money will come after.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You know, I like to always leave with a quote that's basically summarizes everything we've been talking about in my guest, and it goes like this. It says, "If you would not be forgotten as soon as you are dead, writing, either write things worth reading or do things worth writing." Okay. Let everybody know where they can find you. Give a quick shout out to everybody.
Thank you all for tuning in. You can find me at Gina Mocha on Facebook. You can find me at charlestonblackpride.org. Yeah, just Google me now. Look.
Yeah, look, she come.
Regina Duggins, you know what I'm saying? Like, look.
She popping up on that Google search at top, right?
What? Listen, that's something. It feels great. Feels great. Nah, but y'all can always find me anywhere. I'm a people person. And I see y'all around. Listen, we got this.
You already know.
We got this.
All right, man. Thank y'all for listening, man. Always remember, stay 10 toes down. If you're missing any, count them and roll with them. Lead with love, you're going to get love. And whoever you with and whatever you doing, do them and it because you love it. It's Will Love, Miss Gina Mocha, and this is 2 Shots of Vodka, and we are out.
Yeah. Your friends tell you I'm the one and I'm hoping you listen. I don't listen if they praying or they sneak dissing. I got the black sword for the battle of the sexes. You my next girl, don't ever act like my exes. Your phone face up, I trust those are good texts. Mine's face down, cause bullshit can bring us down. I vine with the wine, helping me to read your mind. Room 309, baby, here's the card for you. You love this, you love that, that's where the real at. Morning time, you got my sweater, Vicky's under that. Here's my number, make it ring when you unpack. And don't front on me, cause I'ma take care of your back.
I think you're perfect, I think you're worth it. I think you've got something different, I've been searching. I think you're nervous, he's made you so mad. I think you should take a chance and show me that you can. Come through to my side, come vibe on my side. Be mine on my side, come wine upon my side. I think you're perfect, I think you're worth it. I think you've got something different, I've been searching. I think you're nervous, he's made you so mad. I think you should take a chance and show me that you can.